I do want to thank Wolva Lion. I see him in the chat over.
Take it to the house, I'm about to touchdown. G's living lavish.
Come on, God. Come on, God.
Belly's big, but they full. We do it big. I know you wish you could.
What's going on, Wolverine fans? It's your host, Coach Mike Jones, and I'm back here with another video. But first, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, help me get this content out to more Wolverine fans like yourself, more Michigan sports fans like yourself. Although I do have a soft spot for the Cubbies. I can't help it, man. I know Tigers fans. But hey, man, today I'm going to get into what exactly does the off season really look like for NFL players? Okay, so let me go on and bring this banner up real quick. And what does it really look like? A lot of people don't really know what to expect. I mean, some do. There's guys who are heavily involved, okay, and they know what to expect. But there's certain fans out there who really don't know or understand quite what an off season really looks like. So I'm here to kind of break it down for you, man. And I got it sectioned off into vets, rookies, new acquisitions, and injured players. So just to give you a little heads up. So when the vets are coming in for OTAs, first thing you want to get is the muscle memory reactivated, right? A lot of vets, they've been through this, right? They know, what I'm saying? They're going through the motions, so you want to get that muscle memory activated, okay? You want to get the movements, the steps, everything activated. Like if you're a lineman, you want to get your steps right. Steps right. If you're a receiver, you want to get your motions right. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get your body physically back into football shape. Okay. And then also comes along with that is conditioning, right? You got to be in shape. That's the biggest part of any athlete, right? Is being in shape. And that goes across all sports, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, boxing, MMA. You can be the best player, but if you're not in shape, it wears. It shows. And when you get down to, into the end of the first quarter, second quarter, leading up to halftime, the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, if you're not in shape, it shows. It really does. Okay. And also, you got your vets who return to the team. You want them to show leadership, show guys how it's done, because there's certain things that guys do in certain teams or coming from college, and you want to show guys, hey, this is how we do it. So you lead by example, okay? So that's really what you expect from the vets, just muscle memory, conditioning. You just want to see that they're injury free, they're moving okay, and you want to see them take leadership. You want to see them lead and be the first one to take reps and drills, and not be like, oh, I don't want people to see me, moving like this first, and people kind of judging me. No, when you are the starting running back, like Jahmyr Gibbs, you want to be the first running back in line to show, hey, I'm doing this, I'm spinning, and you just want to take some leadership, okay? Now, when you're a rookie, I believe it's the hardest for rookies. I believe OTAs are the hardest for rookies because rookies never really get a chance to rest. When you're coming off that, especially if you're coming off an extended college football season, if you were possibly in the playoffs or anything like that, and then that's what, late January, okay? Or mid to late January, and then you get into working out for the draft, right? You transition. It's a quick transition of working out for the draft and the combine and all of that. And then you turn around, and this is one reason why the Lions decided to cancel rookie minicamp, which I wasn't a fan of. Because the rookie minicamp is really the install of the playbook. Kind of, that's the rookie's first time to really understand the playbook, get a grasp of the playbook, kind of working out and understand what coaches are, what they mean, and things of that nature, and terminology, and getting comfortable, getting that muscle memory that the vets have. Right, you're trying to now get new muscle memory activated, man. So I personally think that rookie camp is so necessary, but with the Lions' history of injuries, of beating up the body and them not being full strength going down the wire, I understand why they did not have a rookie mini camp. But one thing I also don't like what they do with the rookies, and that is them switching positions. Like I feel like the vets can switch positions. Like they're already comfortable, right? They're not really learning anything new, but they're just adding to what they do know. So the vets, they already have the routine down. Most of them kind of have their pre-ramp up of getting in shape before they come to OTAs. Most of them have their own personal physical conditioning trainer and things of that nature. So their bodies, are already kind of ready for this. So, some guys are lazy. I'm not going, okay, don't hold me up. Some guys are lazy, but a lot of vets, their bodies are ready. But when you're a rookie, your body isn't, it might not be physically all the way there, and I feel like adding on to players learning different positions than what they're drafted for, and it's not just this regime who does it. If you don't recall, Frank Ragnow, who was drafted by the previous regime, he came in and he learned guard. I can't remember if it was right or left guard, but he learned guard, and then they had him play guard. And as we all know, Frank Ragnow is one of the best centers of the decade, but that I just don't like that. I like when a rookie comes in, it's so hard for you to get the schedule down, for you to, you're getting like this, and then, you gotta wake up now, and then you gotta go to the trainer room and gotta get treatments, and then you gotta, go to off-field training activities, or on-field, excuse me, training activities, and you gotta go to the video room, and then you got this whole schedule down. I just feel like changing their position during OTA is just the wrong thing, and that's just me. And I know somebody on Woodward Sports was saying the same thing. Um, but it's just what it is, man. That's how I feel, man. I just feel like rookies just need to they're learning a new playbook, right? They don't switch them positions, man. Just let them get comfortable, and just leave it at that, man. Now, new acquisitions, new guys, when trades are coming in, or guys get acquired, free agents, they have to learn the new playbook, okay? Which is not as bad for them as it is for rookies, because you're already used to some professional lingo. A lot of lingo is similar. Maybe they have different titles or different names or abbreviations, or different forms of it, but it's all pretty much the same lingo. So but for them, really, it's just adjusting to that, them getting comfortable with new coaches, new players. Which, if you're a true vet, you're a true NFL player. You're used to moving pieces, right? You're used to moving parts. You're used to. That's one thing that a lot of people don't realize is you got to get used to different cities. You might play for this team this year, and then this team next year, and then this team the year after, and so you got to get used to different coaches, different, voices, hearing different voices, and then you got to get used to playing next to different people and knowing their style of playing. So, and then also, are you in shape? You know, um, you being in shape is half the battle. Like, I mean, that's more than half the battle, just coming in shape, because now you can do the new things that are asked of you without it being so strenuous on the body. When you're in shape, you can make those adjustments, and they're easier to do when you're in shape. Okay. And then the last, I said I broke it down to vets, rookies, new acquisitions, and the last thing is injured players. Because injured players, I feel like they have it the toughest. Okay. And it's just because it's all about rehabbing, it's all about treatments, getting you back on the field as quickly as possible. Those guys don't get off seasons with their families. Okay. The NFL is an investment. Those teams invest in those players. So if you have a major injury that keeps you out of the season, you're not going home for the offseason. Like you're staying in the building, okay? You're staying in the training facilities, you're getting a hotel, okay? And you're going through the surgery, the rehab, the physical therapy, and then the treatments to get you back on the field. Like those are all the things you're doing. You have very little time to spend with your family in a way. You have if you able to leave at all. Um, so I feel for those guys. I feel for the guys who, a season is so grueling, it's so demanding. If you're a real true professional athlete and you're one of those guys who really lock into the season, you really don't have as much family time. And then when you suffer one of those season-ending injuries, and then you have to stay in the building. You don't get to leave for the off season. You don't get to go spend time with their family. I'm sure they fly their family in and things like that, and they have their family come and spend time with them. But I mean, you just really don't get that, vacation. Like, hey, let's these days go on vacation or let's go here. Let's take my family here, because I got money now, you know what I'm saying? So hey man, let's go here. I'm gonna take the whole family here and like aunts, uncles, cousins, like we're all gonna go rent a cottage out here and just go live and be free and have fun and enjoy family. And that's just something that they don't get. It's all about just rehabbing and getting back on the field as quickly as possible. But that this is kind of the brief synopsis of the OTAs and what an off season really looks like for NFL players. I know a lot of people, they want to see people and they want to see this player and see how this player looks. And like Dan Campbell says, it's a pajama party. But one thing that you want to know is their mind, right? Because now you're getting into the playbook. Okay, you want to see from rookies and from new guys that they can activate this to muscle memory, that they can convert these actions, these motions, these plays, this understanding of the playbook into muscle memory. Okay, so when you get to training camp, you're not going through new steps. You're not like, it's how quickly can they get adjusted to the new scheme. And one thing that our offense actually is going to have to do is they're going to all have to get used to Drew Petzing. I think that's one of the things that played into not having rookie minicamp is since there was a new OC, since they will be installing I'm not a whole new offense, but new concepts, new theories. I think they wanted to have everybody kind of on the same page and the same timing, and everybody's learning something together. So I think that's one of the reasons that played into them not having a rookie minicamp, because there's the guys on the offense, even though they have the playbook in hand, the wording, and you can read something, but unless you see it, that's one thing I always tell my wife. I hate like when we talk on Messenger, or my family. I hate when they talk on Messenger because you can read something, but you don't know what they really are saying, how they're saying it, or what they really want. So that's why I do a little bit, but I hate communicating, through phone, through just words and text and stuff like that, man. And that's what a lot of what OTAs are, because you can't, as a coach, have a lot of on the field with players. Okay, it's limited. I'm not sure of the exact time limitations, but you're limited on the things that you can be on the field and teach and be with the players. So hopefully that this was a helpful video for, I know a lot of a lot of you guys out there understand what OTAs are, but also know there are a lot who don't, and who don't really know what an off season looks like, and I know there will be a lot of things coming up about players, and they don't really understand what phase and what level that player's at and what they're in when you hear these things about these players. Okay. And one final thing I want to mention is the seriousness of Dan Campbell in his interview. And that's the seriousness of Brad Holmes too, but it's more agitation from Brad Holmes, I'm sensing, and it's more seriousness from Dan Campbell, which means only one thing. And this is boss of ball out, kind of a little inside joke. Miss Sheila came in and let Dan smell that white diamonds, okay? You know what I mean? She came in and was like, "You smell me, boys?" Yeah, it's serious. It's serious. She came through and Miss Sheila let him smell it. She let him know, like, it's not no game. This is a for real make or break year. I'm not saying he's gonna get fired or anything, but this is a serious. We got to get back home. Like, we got to get back to our dominant selves. So yeah, man, that's kind of a little. That's what I took from the Dan Campbell interview. That's the main thing I took, because you really can't find out anything, from OTAs when you're doing podcasts or your local news reporting and things like that. But you can just tell from the demeanor. Yeah, Miss Sheila ain't thin on you. Smell that, boys? Okay. But yeah, that's about it for today, man. I think I covered everything, and I wanted you guys to know, man, and and hopefully things will progress, man, and more good news will come out of Allen Park. But hey, I'm the Wolverine coach, Mike Jones, and you know how I always end the sessions. Peace.